Willie D Live.
What's up, family? This is Janice Downs dancing to Young Miami's hit song Spend That after she stole those bags in her hand. And this is 1 week later.
Janice Downs, a.k.a. Janice Smith, a.k.a. Punchy, is back in jail. Downs, a.k.a. one of the most prolific organized retail thieves in Western Washington, is facing new charges. Janice Downs, a.k.a. Janice Smith, a.k.a. Punchy, is back in jail after just getting released from prison in January. Bellevue Police say one of the best clues came from a TikTok video made to Young Miami's viral song Spend That, about boosting and scamming. Bellevue Police say this video shows Janice Wiley holding 2 stolen Louis Vuitton purses. It was posted 5 days after detectives say her daughter, Janice Downs, and an unidentified suspect stole the bags worth more than $7,000 from Nordstrom in downtown Seattle. And 2 days after Downs showed the purses on her Instagram account.
For us, she's a prolific, organized career theft criminal, and so we're very familiar with her.
That's because Bellevue PD's special enforcement team busted Downs and her mom 2 years ago for a major organized retail crime spree. They were accused of stealing more than $500,000 worth of Lululemon clothing. Downs pleaded guilty to 6 counts of organized retail theft. She was sentenced to 33 months in prison with 501 days credit for time served and was released in January. Bellevue PD Captain Landon Barnwell says just 4 months later, Downs was back to her old ways.
You would think that, after what she experienced in 2024, that, hey, that maybe, she would change what she's doing. But again, clearly she hasn't chosen to do that.
Court documents show Bellevue PD Detective Jeff Christensen recognized Downs in a bulletin sent out by Tukwila Police showing thieves stealing almost $4,000 worth of fragrances from Macy's. See the shower cap she's wearing? He had a similar photo of her from his case 2 years ago. Working with their regional law enforcement partners, he says he then identified Downs in similar thefts at the Macy's in Tacoma and the downtown Seattle Nordstrom.
People don't just commit crimes in one location, right? I mean, especially when it comes to, the retail theft related crimes, right? They bounce around to many of the retailers in this entire area.
In the Nordstrom theft, detectives say surveillance video shows Downs wearing a burqa as a disguise. Detectives say the surveillance video shows how Downs and her accomplice cooperated to steal the purses, distracting the clerk by asking to see other bags on the shelves behind him. When he turned his back, watch as the accomplice smoothly slips the handles of one of the purses over her arm. After he shows them a second bag, he puts it back on the shelf. When he went to the front sales counter, police say Downs walked over, made sure he wasn't looking, and grabbed the purse, then held it down low on the right side of her body, opposite over where the clerk was standing. Her accomplice then moves over next to her, takes the handbag, and exits the store with both of the stolen purses. A few seconds later, Downs follows her out. On June 12th, Bellevue Police arrested Downs and her mom. Detectives located them in the parking lot of Westfield South Center Mall. Court documents note that Downs was wearing the same burqa, black-colored sandals, and her white-painted toes matched her appearance from the Nordstrom theft.
We will hold you accountable, and we're not going to tolerate people that commit crimes here in our community.
Ma'am, is your true and correct name Janice Smith, a.k.a. Janice Downs?
And we'll stipulate to name and date of birth for purposes of arraignment.
In court, King County prosecutors charged Downs with organized retail theft in the first degree. Her defense attorney asked the judge not to allow our camera to show her client's face.
And I do want to ask the court to not allow the media to film in order to preserve Ms. Smith's right to a fair trial. Our position is that allowing the media to film increases the likelihood of tainting a jury pool. If this were to go to trial, of course, the jury would be instructed to not do any research on their own. However, there's nothing that the court can do to prevent them from doing that. And if there is media allowed to report on the story, I think it would just increase the likelihood that somebody would either intentionally or accidentally come across the story and read about the alleged charges here.
Wait, so are you asking for an order just not to film, or that they not be allowed to report on it?
My request,
because that's a prior restraint that the court just cannot do in any case for any reason.
My request, to be clear, was just to not allow the media to film Ms. Smith. If the court is inclined to allow the media to film, our alternative request is to require that the media be instructed to only film Ms. Smith from the shoulders down.
Understood. Thank you.
Judge Joe Campagna denied her motion.
The media has a right to be here and to film. I don't find that there's anything particular about this case that would warrant the court restricting that for this hearing and in this case. But certainly, as I said, you can explore all those topics if and when this matter is called for trial.
Downs remains in jail on $215,000 bail. $75,000 of that is for a fugitive warrant out of Oregon. She's charged there with 16 counts of organized retail theft, aggravated theft, and theft.
At the end of the day, we're hoping that we're preventing crime here in Bellevue because, we know it's not a matter of if they're going to come to Bellevue, it's when.
Like mother, like daughter. This is ridiculous, man. Let me tell you something, family. If you're in the streets and, you felt like you didn't really have a choice because of the way that you came up and, your love was limited, your resources were limited, you didn't have any other way or you couldn't think of another way, and so you just went out and, did what you did or whatever. The whole time you're doing what you're doing, you should be thinking about your future children. You should be thinking to yourself, man, I'm not going to have my kids be in the same position that I'm in. But no, that's too much like right. We got too many parents who have bad luck, bad attitudes, bad take on society. They got the mentality that they're self-entitled, the world owes them. So all they can think of is doing dirt. And they actually are cool with passing that on down, passing that mentality down to their children. If you look at the uncivilized mutts who killed Ahmaud Arbery, if you look at these other father-son tag teams who behave like uncivilized racist mutts, if you look at Janine, you look at people like her who boost to sell dope, whatever they do dirty, whatever dirt they do. Instead of them keeping that type of stuff far away from their children, they actually get excited. They introduce their kids to that type of lifestyle, or their kids pick it up and they champion it. They look at it like it's some type of badge of honor. That's sick. You're supposed to want better for your children than you have for yourself. You're supposed to always want better for your children than you have for at the bottom of jail cells. Yeah, they're at the bottom of society because they're out here dancing to her music, holding stolen goods. I am absolutely convinced that there are people out there who care more about attention than they care about their freedom. They care more about attention than they care about their life. There are people out there who, man, they just want to be seen on the internet, flashing money, showing they got some expensive clothes or something. They want to take the pictures and post it on Insta. They can't wait to go out and buy something really expensive, those designer clothes and bags. They can't wait to get the shoes and lay it out on the bed and take a picture of it. My cousin did that. He dead now. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? He couldn't wait, like straight up told on himself. Like he hit the lick, took the pictures, put put it on the bed. Look at me. All of a sudden, so he go from regular old job, just regular old job where you cannot afford that type of stuff, to all of a sudden balling out of control. And he put them people right on his tail, just like that. Everybody knew what he was up to. You ain't have to be there to see it. You just know, okay, where you get that money from? What do you do? And he just wanted to be seen. He just wanted to be the man, it's okay to want to be seen. It's okay to be the man or be the woman. It's okay. But patience, man, the shortcut is the work. Everybody looking for the shortcut. The shortcut is the work. Look, I'm not telling you what I heard, fam. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not going to be hypocritical about it. I've been out there. I did it. I tried my hand. This shit don't work. Oh, man, it don't work. Look, putting in the work, man, you get so much more sleep, too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a cat from the streets and you out there doing dirt or whatever, and, you pretty, you got your antennas up, you're going to have many sleepless nights, because all you're going to be thinking about every time you hear a knock at that door, you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's the killers. You don't know if it's the police. You don't know if it's another lick. You don't know what it is. That's unnerving, man. The shortcut is the work. I can't believe how much people self-snitch these days. I thought the goal, if you are going to do some dirt, you want to avoid doing dirt, but if you are going to do some dirt, you want to get away with it, right? Soon as. And if you're going to buy some expensive stuff, you want to kind of throw people off a little bit, set up a legitimate business so that people can look at it and say, oh, yeah, she owns a such and such. Oh, he owns this right here. That's where the money coming from. No, they go from no work to having everything, and they can't show no tax. They can't show no tax paperwork on nothing. The bank account go from zero to $100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 2 million, whatever, and they can't show one time where they got up and went to work, or they logged online and they got some type of online business that can bring them in that kind of money. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Getting that stuff and putting that stuff in your mama name, that don't work no more. Put that stuff in your mama name if you want to, and your mama going to jail too. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.